So my presentation today is an outcome of phacotrabeculectomy with subtenon mitomycin C injection in an Eastern Indian cohort. So why mitomycin C injection? The sponge application of mitomycin C under the conjunctiva is unreliable and there is inconsistent absorption of mitomycin C into sponge. There is worry of leaving behind a bits of sponge and there is a localization effect that we all know of. On the other hand, if we give a subtenon mitomycin C injection, there is supposed to be precise delivery of desired amount of drug. There is no worries of leaving behind a sponge, and there is wider and uniform application of mitomycin C, and of course a shorter surgical time. So this is essentially a non-comparative retrospective case series of 39 eyes of 39 patients who underwent combined phacotrabeculectomy and completed a minimum of 1 year follow-up. We included patients of more than 40 years of age of primary open-angle glaucoma who had mild to moderate visual field damage and when visual field deterioration on maximum tolerable medical treatment with visually significant cataract, excluded complicated cataracts, intraoperative general dialysis or vitreous loss, trauma, neovascular glaucoma, prior glaucoma surgeries, immunodeficiency, uncontrolled diabetes or pregnancy. And on examination, we did base-corrected visual acuity for all, slit lamp examination, Goldmann applyation tonometry, gonioscopy, fundus, and automated perimetry. All surgeries were done by a single surgeon. There was 20 microgram mitomycin C injection were placed before the surgery in the subtenon space. Triangular scleral flap was made. There was single apical tenon nylon fixed suture. Conjunctiva was closed with atovicryl and blade manipulations were done 3 days to 4 weeks postoperatively. We followed up the patients on 3 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month and then 3 monthly up to 1 year. At every follow-up, we did BCVA, slit lamp examination, Siddle's test, IOP measurement. We did bleb morphology with Indiana bleb appearance grading scale and noted the complications. The follow-up interventions were bleb needling for impending bleb failure. How did we prepare this mitomycin C? We took 5 milliliter of balanced solution mixed with 2 milligram of mitomycin C powder. 0.5 milliliter of the mixture, we added 0.5 milliliter of lidocaine. 0.1 or 0.2 milliliter was taken for injection and the concentration became 0.2 milligram per ml and the delivery was 0.1 ml, that is 20 microgram. This is a short clip of the surgery that we placed around 70 millimeter from the limbus with a 30 gauge needle bevel down and pressed for the with a sponge to prevent spillage, and we kept a spatula and kept the mitomycin blade away from the limbus to prevent the limbal totipotent cells to get affected by the effect of mitomycin C. We completed the phacoemulsification in the usual manner from the temporal side, closed it with a suture, then converted into the superior side, completed the trab in the usual manner, did the PI, and closed the wound with the interrupted tenon nylon suture and closed the conjunctiva with atovicryl. The success of intraocular pressure control was defined as 30% or more reduction of intraocular pressure from the preoperative level, where there was no need of further glaucoma surgery and additional medication and no loss of light perception. We defined good blebs with height more than H2 or extent more than 3 clock hours as per IBAG's grading system, and the poor was height less than or equal to H1 with extent less than 2 clock hours. The failure was defined with poor bleb with more than 2 additional medication at 1 year or with loss of PL or reoperation for the glaucoma. The mean age of our patients were around 62.7, where around 60% were men. The mean pre-op intraocular pressure was around 24.8 and mean glaucoma medications were around 2.67. There was considerable reduction of intraocular pressure, that the mean pre-op intraocular pressure of 24 was reduced to almost 50% to 12.56 at 1 year. 30 eyes, that's almost 77%, recorded 30% reduction, and 22 eyes recorded 50% reduction from the baseline without additional medication at 1 year. There was significant reduction of glaucoma medication was observed and it was decreased from 2.67 to 0.85. Around 80%, that is 31 patients, showed good bleb morphology. Poor bleb morphology was observed in 4 eyes. But interestingly, around large area, that is more than 4 clock hours of avascularity, that is V0, was observed in around 20% eyes, which remained Searle's negative till the last follow-up. We did have cystic changes less than 2 clock hours in 2 eyes. There were some of the complications of cystic change. This is one of the case where we had large subconjunctival hemorrhage. The bleb individually failed, and these are the few photos of large avascular zones. 2 eyes presented with early wound leak at the limbus, where we used bandage contact lens for a period of 3 to 4 weeks. These eyes showed cystic change in the bleb morphology towards the limbus. And we did, in 3 cases, we had bleb needling, which required with, we did needling with 10 microgram of mitomycin C injection in between 3 and 6 months postoperatively. Treatment failure, around 10% eyes with poor bleb morphology required more than 2 additional medication to control intraocular pressure. Early, that is 2 eyes, and late hypotony in 1 eye was associated with poor bleb appearance and eventual failure of filtration. 1 eye with large subconjunctival hemorrhage showed poor bleb function also, and 1 bleb failed following late hypotony and choroidal detachment. The success rate of trabeculectomy was around 77% with a failure rate of 10.2% at 1 year, which was consistent. Time on. Shall we stop here? Shall we continue?
How many more slides?
One more slide we have. The surgery produced almost 50% reduction of mean intraocular pressure at 1 year, which lower considerably in previous studies. 20% of good blebs had large avascular zone, which may be attributed to inadvertent spread of mitomycin C subconjunctivally. To conclude, subtenant injection is a time-saving, effective, and the safe alternative. It definitely produces favorable bleb morphology and function. Large areas of avascularity in significant number of patients may raise concern in the long-term safety of the procedure. Thank you for your patient hearing.
Dr. Paul, I have a question. You said that 0.1 or 0.2 ml. So should it not be a fixed quantity?
Sorry, I didn't get you, sir.
You said the amount of injection
Yeah.
was 0.1 or 0.2. Was there some specific cases, number of cases with 0.1, or you compared with 0.2, or
no, we
it
didn't
was just at random?
No. So it was always 0.1 ml, sir. Why it was 0.1 or 0.2?
I think there was a slide saying 0.1 or 0.2 ml.
No, it was
No.
always
It was
0.1 only. Yeah.
Point.
It is.
And you said needling was done between 3 and 6 months.
Yes.
Do you think
Postoperatively.
such a delayed needling would help, would cause any help?
No, actually, in these cases, that is the period when we thought the needling would help. Before that, the pressures were controlled, and this is a very small sample. So within these 39 eyes, we had to do needling in between 3 and 6 months postoperatively.
Needling is generally done much earlier in case it has to be successful. Was there a specific reason to wait for such a long time?
No, actually, on our follow-up, in these cases, we found that the signs of bleb failure in these cases 2 months postoperatively, mostly. So we didn't find early failures to where we'd engage the patient with another procedure. So that is the reason of delay.
This
Yes.
single site phacotrabeculectomy and two sites, if you have chosen, could have affected the outcome of your this mitomycin C effect?
I don't think so. It will not affect. The only thing is, if you do a single site, then you have to inject the patient. Probably you need to take the patient twice in the OT, because after immediately pushing mitomycin C, we do not start trabeculectomy.
I mean, a single site is always followed by more inflammation, more reaction. So that could affect the outcome of the glaucoma surgery.
I am not very sure whether single site is actually causing more inflammation, but the long-term study says that if we do single site or twin site, there is around 1 millimeter difference on the outcome, of 1 millimeter of mercury difference of intraocular pressure fall. Inflammation, I'm not very sure of.
inflammation
it
is always more when you do from single
single
side.
side.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.